Datadog is what we're going to be looking at here on the weekly chart. Ended the week at 155.15, up around $20 from the previous trading session. That is because good news in here. It's going to be a part of the S&P 500 now. So this is now the new golden child in here. Everybody is watching and talking about Datadog. We have RSI obviously through the roof in here because we had that big gap up in here on Friday or Thursday's trading session. That is, you can see that's why our weekly candle is like this. If we go to the daily chart, you can see exactly where that happened. So here's all your volume right here. Here's the big gap up. You can see actually previously, about a week or so ago, we did break out of our wedge here and we were basically overbought on the daily. You can see that we kind of started getting a little bit of overextended in here about the 130s, kind of wrapping around that 9-day EMA sitting right on it. And then obviously good news pushed this thing even higher. So all in all, it looks like the technicals were telling us, hey, we're going to start to kind of revert to the mean here. But obviously with the big news coming out that they are going to be a part of the S&P now, then obviously that kind of shot this thing through the roof. So now where does that put us going forward? Well, we are above that $150 range. So the 150 is going to be a place for us that's going to set up shop as a nice support. Anything above that, we're going to be looking at $5 levels. We are currently above the 155, but depending on how the markets are reacting to Monday's holiday session, it looks like we're going to be gapping down a little bit in here. So it looks like that 155 is going to be a resistance for us if we open up how everything closed on Friday. So if we're open up Monday, how everything closed on Friday session with the futures, it looks like that 155 is going to be resistance. But if not, then 155 will be a support for us. Anything above that, we're looking at 160 until we get up tier two right around this 166 area, which is going to be that high as we placed in December. So that is what we're looking at here for our immediate supports and resistances. Anything below this 150, we're going to be looking at this lower trend line right here, right down to right around those 137s, the 138s. You can see we also have a point right here that was a nice support for us back in January or so. So this lower trend line right here, it was our lower trend line to our wedge. Obviously, we just extended it. So now that is going to be our support in here going forward. You can see they both crossed over these trend lines. So that we're just going to keep these on here for now to make that kind of like our safety line in here going forward. And if we do breach that, then obviously we will adjust. But that 137, 138 area is going to be a spot that we're going to set up shop in here if we get a big pullback. Now, as far as what everybody's pricing in for the next upcoming weeks and volatility wise, it's not really all calculated in just yet. So there's so much volatility going on in here at the moment that nobody really knows exactly what everybody's pricing in. But basically, you're looking at right around a $10 expected move by the next 2 weeks is what everybody is kind of pricing in if you go by the options chain that is. So IV ranking here is still low compared to itself because obviously volatility hasn't kicked in fully as far as big gap downs, but as far as volatility to the upside, obviously it is massive and through the roof. So it's kind of hard to judge things like that. So that is why they are not really sure right now what everything, what the expected move is going to be for everything. So basically, just kind of keep in mind about a $10 expected move each week in here for the next couple weeks. If we go to the daily chart yet once more, you can see again how much volume just came in here, basically almost quadruple the volume that we usually get. And that is because of that big gap up that we had in here. So overall, a nice day here on Friday, $20 move in here just because of that news. We're going to see how much this holds. But again, now we created a gap. So eventually we're going to come back down here at the 134s and eventually fill that gap. But until then, we'll see how long we can stay up here above the 150s. And then obviously we'll kind of go from there and see how this thing reacts to the overall markets now that it is a part of the S&P. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you are interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.